Coming up tonight, reactions from F&B outlets who are bracing themselves for tougher restrictions that take effect from Sunday. People are urged not to panic buy as long queues form at supermarkets ahead of the new rules. And making more than a fashion statement, here's Bernadette Bell Ong representing Singapore at the Miss Universe pageant. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. Good evening, I'm Chao Suan. Now, today's numbers say it all. Singapore's Covid-19 situation appears to be worsening very quickly, with another double-digit increase in new community cases just today. Amongst the 24 new infections, 13 are linked to the Changi Airport cluster, 7 are linked to previous cases, and 4 are currently unlinked. This comes as the government announced that tougher rules will be introduced from Sunday for a month to try and curb the spread in the community. One expert told ST that by cutting down the number of people allowed to come together, especially when not wearing masks, there will be less opportunity for the virus to spread.
And to put it in perspective, a month ago we were looking at 0 community cases, and within a span of a month, we are now looking at a number of community clusters that continue to grow with the daily reports. This is not a good sign because this says that both the speed and the spread of infections in the community are happening faster than our contact tracing and isolation protocols before we can even intervene to cut the chains of transmission. So to really slow down the transmission and in order to let our protocols catch up and once again be ahead of the community spread, we really need to impose more restrictions in the community to cut down on the degree of interactions between people.
Now here's what you need to know about the tighter measures, or what netizens are calling Circuit Breaker Light or CB 2.0. From Sunday, you can only gather with one other person. You should organize just 2 social gatherings a day, and households will not be allowed to receive more than 2 distinct visitors per day. Work from home is the default, and dining in at eateries and hawker centres will be banned, with these places only able to offer takeaway and delivery. Now, we spoke to several F&B outlets about how the new rules will affect them, what they learned from last year's circuit breaker, and here's what they told us.
Being the CEO of the company, of course, I have to remain calm, and I'm going to make sure that everybody, if I'm going to be the one that be in high anxiety and all this, I think the rest of the people in my team will be also very worried. So, of course, internally myself, I know that the situation I need to address, but we learned from last year's situation and experience, and I think we have done enough, planning, and our SOPs are out there. So we felt that, I personally felt that the team can able to deliver what we need to this time around. Unfortunately, we have to accept the situation and deal with it. More importantly, I think the people have to stay calm. We're going to offer, a free delivery to most people in Singapore, so that they don't have to say, hey, should I go out and have the takeaway and all this. We just want them to be safe at home and enjoy the food that we can deliver to them.
The whole idea of another closure is pretty scary for us now. We hope it's just going to be a month, but if it's going to be extended for another 2-3 months, I think we are better prepared. I really hope that commercial landlords will come up on their own and make this a much easier path for us, because it's a struggle, and at the end of the day, the overheads that we have, the rents, everything, it's a huge struggle. We are always trying to make it work.
I think the main thing that worries most F&B operators is the transition between mainly dine-in to mainly deliveries. So that, because the whole operational process is a bit different. So what changes most will be the labor rostering in the outlet, and also transiting the operation flow to mainly deliveries.
And with the announcement of tightening restrictions earlier today, long queues and crowds were spotted at supermarkets across the island. Minister for Trade and Industry Chan Chun Sing stressed that there is no need to rush to buy groceries or other essential items. All retail outlets, including supermarkets, will remain open during this period, and stocks are adequate. FairPrice has also reassured customers that it will not impose any limits on purchases. It has an established and diversified network of suppliers carrying products from more than 100 countries. Well, and this rush to supermarkets was almost immediately reflected in our stock market. While the ST index fell more than 2%, the share price for major supermarket chain Sheng Siong closed up 10%. Now let's take a look at what's been trending on social media today. All the way in the United States, one beauty queen is representing Singapore and advocating for Asians. Miss Bernadette Bell Ong, Singapore's contender in the Miss Universe beauty pageant, used the national costume segment of the contest to call for a stop on racist attacks on Asians in the United States. She wore a long cape with the colours of Singapore's flag with the words "Stop Asian Hate." In advocating a stop to hate crimes, Ms. Ong called attention to Singapore's flag. She said in her Instagram account, "It symbolises unity for all and social harmony in a multiracial, multicultural and interreligious country. I wear my country proud and strong, Majulah Singapura." Now, one 19-year-old polytechnic student had caught the attention and interest of many when he made this year's Forbes 30 Under 30. Harsh Dalal, who claimed to run a $25 million tech startup, was featured on the cover of the April-May issue of Forbes Asia. But less than a month after being named on the list of 300 entrepreneurs, Harsh, who is co-founder and chief executive of Singapore-based Team Labs, has been removed from Forbes' list amid reports that some of his previous claims cannot be verified. This includes inconsistencies in his Series A round raised from venture capital firm Grand Canyon Capital, as well as the number of employees supposedly working for his company. And before we go, here's something to take your mind off all the bad news. A world champion cliff diver has become the first person to perform an 18-meter dive out of a moving hot air balloon in New South Wales. Australian athlete Rhiannon Ifland took the plunge from a small platform outside the basket. The record-setting dive is a curtain raiser for this year's Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series in France next month. How cool is that? Now that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Keep safe and we'll see you on Monday.